Welcome to MK News. As we know, the coronavirus outbreak is getting more serious. Schools across the UK have shut today, Friday 20th of the 3rd, 2020. Some schools with educational healthcare plan students do not by law have to shut, and this is only advisory. However, schools are required to follow government advice, and our country needs to keep following all the advice the government gives us. And in 12 weeks, this pandemic could be soon over. It's really a difficult time for the country to go through at the minute, and we all understand that students, parents, school staff and people who could get coronavirus, it's really stressful being in your house, not being allowed to go to school. So if you follow government advice, in 12 weeks this could all be over, says Boris Johnson. The NHS and the UK government struggle to contain this deadly flu-like virus, coronavirus, COVID-19 strain of coronavirus. And as this is so serious, we need to chuck everything at this virus and hope that the virus will soon be brought to a halt if we keep following government advice as UK citizens. UK Queen has reported she has thanked scientists and public servants for all their hard work during this difficult time to help prevent this virus and to stop it spreading as much as we can. Children of key workers, social workers and the most vulnerable will be allowed to go to school, says UK government. And during this distressing time, we will all do our best as UK citizens, and Boris Johnson has ruled within 12 weeks the virus could be brought to a halt slowly, but consideration, showing to everybody else, wash your hands for 20 plus seconds. To reduce the risk of spreading a cold, always wash your hands, often with warm water and soap. When not available, use antibacterial hand sanitizer. Due to testing animals unfairly on this coronavirus, Animals Rights Association groups have come across animals being tested unfairly, which is not right, but scientists feel it is needed to help test what vaccines could work for the coronavirus. This is unfair, unreasonable and cruel to animals, so we need to try and find other ways to deal with it other than testing on animals, because most people are against that, and it's not a good idea to test on animals. Scientists have said there is no other choice, but people need to do their best to find other ways to test, such as Petri dishes, lots of other ideas. Boris Johnson would think of some. So it's really important that we don't test on animals because this is unfair. But we currently have no other choice in this country, which is the unfair bit. That we have no other choice to shut schools. We have no other choice to test on animals. We have no other choice to do anything really. This devastating consequence affects everybody. It affects animals. It affects us human beings, us living things. It affects the country. It affects school when it's extremely distressing to shut all schools in the UK except for those of key workers and vulnerable children with a social worker or educational healthcare plan, EHCP. Breaking news. 104 people have died from COVID-19, 2,626 confirmed cases in the UK alone. Schools have shut today, on Friday, 20th of March 2020, until further notice, says Boris Johnson, BBC News have reported. Johnson has said exams not to take place in May and June. Johnson has said children should not be left with older people due to the risk of spreading the virus to them if they have got it, because you do not notice symptoms until 5 days after you've catched it, says BBC News. Coronavirus, UK schools to close, may be stressing to pupils and parents and students and staff. But we have no other choice except to close schools, which is extremely distressing to those unvulnerable, parents not key workers and people who do not need to go to school with an educational healthcare plan. Vital education missed out on, but we have no other choice. So this is the way it's got to be at the moment, until hopefully 12 weeks. If we keep following government advice, tax bills could go up. Children have been scientifically proven to be the least at risk to coronavirus as long as they are over 5. to 20. Emergency services must be kept running. Schools could be shut for 18 months, says UK government, and we have no other choice except to do this. There is no indication on how long schools will be shut for at this moment. When we have this information, we will share it with you on MK Local News and Awareness UK 3. This virus is a very distressing circumstance for British citizens. Exams in May and June cancelled 2020. Boris Johnson has said they will try to keep the exams of GCSEs for sixth form results achieving and their career continue to develop for all that hard work that they would have done for nothing if they do not achieve their results due to this deadly coronavirus. Boris Johnson said, "We will make sure student progress is not impeded." Breaking news, UK. Prime Minister PM has said students will get qualifications they need. We need to follow government advice and focus on this serious pandemic. It is a really clear instruction to do this. Info here at this link, gov.uk. Private schools and nurseries asked to close as well. Government-funded schools instructed by UK government to close from Friday evening, 20th of March 2020. SOS alert, COVID-19 coronavirus. Schools to shut today from Friday evening, 20th of the 3rd, 2020 until further notice, reports BBC News. Government have announced that government to inspect hygiene in all public places under health and safety regulations. Millions of children could be stuck at home for months, says Prime Minister. This extremely distressing incident for children, families, staff, people who could suffer this virus and people that have to stay on lockdown in their homes due to prevent spreading the virus to other people who can't fight it, such as the over 70s and people with pre-existing health conditions. Schools are not open except to children of key workers and vulnerable with a social worker or an educational healthcare plan. This will not be easy for young people, and parents' mental well-being or important education is being missed out on. Vital education, vital socialisation and mental well-being. Some schools have said they are going to send online work and online classrooms, such as Google Classroom, when they can. But this is not legally required, it's just advisable or up to schools to deal with themselves. They do not legally have to do this. So some schools may send out work, but you do not have to complete it by law. You should get general encouragement from your parents. Parents, encourage your children to do it, but don't make them, because they're just as stressed as you are, and they don't have to do it. It is good to do it, but you don't have to. If they say no, respect no, because they're very stressed with the situation of not being able to socialise, do their learning in a school environment. So it's different for them, especially if they've got ASD or mental health condition. The more self-isolating, the better. Self-isolating could be a legal, mandatory requirement soon, says Boris Johnson. Where did the virus start? There are loads of theories, i.e. Chinese eating bats. This doesn't help, by the way. One person who didn't isolate spreaded it, ... 2 Chinese people in a hotel didn't isolate and they spreaded it to other Chinese people. And then that led on to lots of people getting it. If you experience serious signs, call 999 for an ambulance, or if you're unsure, use the online NHS What to Do service, 111 online. Popular programmes possibly cancelled by BBC, British Broadcast Corporation. Services currently, i.e. EastEnders. Care homes could be spreading COVID-19. Some have even been closed or deep cleaned. COVID-19 protection tips. 1. Wash your hands for 20 plus seconds properly. 2. Self-isolate if your symptoms do occur. Sore throat, nausea, breathing difficulty, headache, EXT. Avoid going out as much. 4. Deep clean your house. Milton Keynes patient dies in Milton Keynes University Hospital, NHS Foundation Trust. Victim Craig, in his 40s, youngest victim to die in UK, Milton Keynes. His family goes on to say, "How dare COVID-19 take Craig? Older people should not look after children and we couldn't express how much more important than we are now. Self-isolation lasts 14 days plus, or 7 days if you live individually. A question that you've all been having: who's at risk most? 1. Smokers. 2. OAPs. 3. Children under 5. 4. Diabetics. 6. Asthmatics. At risk for coronavirus strain COVID-19. Milton Keynes Charity Age Stores UK charity shops closed 9+ stores. Loads of businesses closed: cinemas, stores, charities, Milton Keynes libraries, holiday parks, centre parks.